Okay, all right, this was where we left off the last class. Um, so I created a new file here, which is a conditional logical.php underscore logical.php. We want to discuss about comparison and logical operators. Okay, so the way this comparison operator works, but first let me just give you the list of conditionals operators we have. Okay, okay, sorry about that. I don't know why the network is very, very bad this evening.
Sure.
So as I was saying, let me give you the list of comparison operators we have. Just put it in a pre-tag. We have equal.
I'm seeing your screen.
Okay, oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Let me share. Can you see it now?
It's something. I'm seeing it. Okay.
We have the equal.
Um,
We have the equal operator. We have the identical, and we have the compare. We have the greater than is greater than equals to. We have the not equals to. Okay, let me just display this on the browser so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I think I named this thing wrong. I'm sorry. Just give me a minute to sort it. Okay, these are the operators we have. Okay, just let me push this thing down to the middle. I'm coming so you can see it very well.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to push this thing down to the middle so you can be able to see it very well. Just round it, pick, push to tag. So that's something to. Okay. I think the pick tag is.
Mm.
Okay. Now we have the equal. Oh, there's noise. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. There's kind of noise. So
Mommy, biko na disturb m now. Mom kọ n'ime abalị ka manage na-eme ya ụlọ na too noisy.
okay. Now let's start with the equals to sign. Let's just put this one here. Okay. Now let's open our page. We hope you know how to do it very well now. Hmm?
What?
Like hope you know how to work with your open tag and closing tag now.
I know how to do it.
Like hope you know how to open your PHP tag and close it now. Like very well. You are used to it now.
No.
Hmm? You understand what I said now? Hello, Joyce.
Okay, what you say now?
I was asking if you know if you are used to opening and closing your PHP tag now, like very well. How to open the tag, less than sign, question mark PHP, blah blah blah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, okay, that's good. Now let's start with the less than sign. Now we are asking
Okay.
if 4 is less than 4.
Mm.
We want it to echo this code here. Let me just say, let me just put it else here so that you know what we are doing. Now we're asking, we are saying if 4 is less than 4, to execute this code, which is echo if true. Now let's see what's going to give us. Okay, now it's saying it is false. Do you think why is it saying it is false? Hmm?
No
Joyce,
worries. Okay, I've seen it now.
I said
Hello?
this code here is giving us it is false. It's executing the else code. But I'm
Uh,
asking why is it doing like that?
uh, please go back. Oh God.
Can you do you understand? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello. Can you hear me? So I was asking. I said I created an if statement here, and I said if 4 is less than 4, echo it is
Mm.
true. Else echo it is false. So when I run the code now, it's giving me it is false. So I was asking why is it giving me it is false? I want to know your like. I want you to think like why is it giving us it is false?
If it's less than 4. Ah.
Remember I said running an if statement. If you said if 4 is less than 4, or if you give it,
Mm.
you
Mm.
give a condition here. If this condition is true, this code will execute. But if this condition is false, this is a fallback. This condition here, else statement will run. If for this condition to be saying it is false, that means this first if statement is wrong, or it is false. Now look at what we give. You say 4 is 4 less than 4.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yes, it's less than 4 now.
4 is less than 4.
4 minus 4 is 0.
What do you say?
I say yes.
No,
It's true.
4 can never be less than 4. 4 is equals to 4,
Huh?
not less than 4. You understand me?
Okay. Yes.
4 can never, just like saying 10 is less than 10. It's not possible. 10 is equals to 10, not less than 10. You get what I'm trying to say? So this code now is saying 4 is less than 4, which is very, very wrong. 4 cannot be less than 4. So is this code here happens to be giving us false? Why this one that is here? Once
Yes.
this one is false, this one will run. This else statement will run. So let's try something. Let's say 4 is less than or equals to 4. Let's see what it's going to give us now. So what I'm saying is, well, before I run it, I'm saying
Okay.
4 is less than or equals to 4. So
Four.
I'm saying if
Uh,
4 is not less than 4, then it should be, if it is, it equals to 4. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
mm.
Or should I come again?
No, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing
Okay, now let's run it and see what we get. Now we are getting true. Why are we getting true? Because this equals to is saying what this if statement is saying if 4 is less than 4, or
four.
yeah, or 4 is equals to 4. So you are saying 4 is less than or equals to 4. 4 is not less
Yes,
than
yes.
4, but 4 is equals to 4. So this
Okay,
code
that
is
is
going
why
to
it's
give us.
saying false
Yes, because 4 is not less than 4.
because it's not less than 4 yet. Now I get it.
Exactly. So just imagine you are saying 4 less than 3. 4 is less than 3. 4 less than 5. 4 is less than 5, right?
Uh,
So let's see
yes,
what it's
yes.
going to give us. It is true. You see.
It's true.
So because 4 is what? Is
Mm,
less than 5.
yes.
Okay, now let's try um equals to. Let's say 4 is equals to, sorry.
But
Let's say equals to 4. 4 is equals to 4. What do you think this one will give us? Hmm?
this equal to.
Yeah, equals to is saying you are saying this thing is equals to this. If you are using one equals to, you are assigning a variable. You are
Uh,
number is equals to 4. But if you are saying 4 is equals to 4 is equal, if is double equals to 4, that means you are
uh,
comparing them. You understand? You are comparing them.
okay.
You are checking for equality between them. You are saying 4 is equals to 4. You understand? So you get what I'm
Mm,
saying? So, but if you are using one equals to, you are assigning a variable. You are assigning a variable. You get? You are saying number is equals to 4. Or you are saying okay,
mm,
name is equals to
yes.
Joe. You understand what I'm trying to say, Abby?
Yes. Yeah.
So, okay, now it's giving us true because 4 is equals to 4. Abi? Now,
Mm,
another thing is this not equals to sign.
that's it.
4 is not equals to 4. Let's see what it's going to give us. It's going to give us false
Not
before because
sure.
4 is what? 4 is equals to 4. So this if statement
Uh,
is false, then this one will run. You understand what I'm saying?
yes.
Okay, now let's come to identity.
Mhm.
Identity is checking for is checking for the identity of the value. For example, now if I say
Mhm.
4 is equals to 4, it's going to give me what? It's going to give me true. Abi? Because 4 is equals to 4. It's triple equals to 4. 4 is identical to 4. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, but if I said 4 is identical to string 4, you know what's a string, Abi? So you are
No.
comparing. Hmm? I,
No, no.
I explained a string to you. I said string are just like a group of tests. They are just tests.
Okay.
You understand? It's just like
Sure.
look at what I put here. Echo it is true. This is just test that you can output. You understand?
Mhm.
So they are just like tests. Just like if you want to write something, maybe my name is so on the
Yes.
you put it in a string. You understand?
Okay.
If I remove this string here, if I just put
Eh.
this string here, it's going to give me false. Like it's going to give me
Um,
error because this is not a string. You cannot output like this.
mm,
So the only way you can put is when you put it inside a string. So string are like group of tests. You understand?
mm,
Or tests. So I'm saying 4 is equal is triple is identical to string, which is a 4. Now let's see what this thing is going to give us before I explain. Let's just see the results. False.
It's true.
You understand? So we are
False.
saying 4 here is a number, 4 here is a string. You understand? 4 years,
Mm.
you are that means you are comparing a number with a string, which is very wrong. Do you understand?
Mm.
So that's how the identical work. And if you want to, you can say this sign here is a not sign. So you can say 4 is not equal to
Not,
this,
not equals to.
which is going to give us true. Do you see?
Mm.
Okay, now let's move to logical operator. Logical operator are like giving us
Confident.
other options. For example, now I'm asking is 4 as a number is equals to three is identical to this 4. Now, the first operator, the first logical operator is the and. You understand? And the way we write
Mm.
that one is using this. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
And let's say and 5 is greater than, let's also say 3. Now look at what I'm doing here. I'm saying 4, if 4 is triple equals to this and 5
and
greater than
five.
is greater than 3, then execute this code. Now there's something I want you to note here.
Yes.
If you're using a logical operator and
Mm.
you're using and,
Mm.
you
Yes.
before this code can run, it's the two conditions must be true. You understand what I'm saying? If I run this condition, let me run it now. You see what you see, you get false. You see. Although
Mm.
5 is greater than 3, which is true. Abi?
Yes. Yes.
But 4
Yes.
as a string is not identical to 4 as a number, which means condition,
Yes.
this first condition here is wrong. But
Oh.
this second condition is right. Now, for the AND operation to work, the two conditions must be true. Now, let me put 4 is equals to 4. Let's see what we get. Now, this
Mm.
first condition is true. This second condition is true. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
So let's run it and see. You see, we get true. So for
So,
using the AND operator, the two conditions must be true before it can run. You understand? So, but
mm.
the in the case of using OR, this is how we write OR. Sorry about that. Okay, this is how we write OR. You see it. This is
Yes.
so this is how we write OR. Now, the way OR works is if one condition is true, the code is going to run. You understand? Okay, let's say 4. Let's say 4 is let's say 4 is greater than 10, which is wrong, Abby.
Mm.
Now, but our second condition is true, which we mean 5 is greater than 10. 5 is greater than 3, Abby. But 4 is not greater than 3, which is this first condition here is wrong. But this second condition here is true, right? Now, let's
Mm.
run it and see what we get. We see we got true. You understand? So, what if you're using the OR operator? You are saying if you are using the OR operator, one of the condition just have to be true. You understand?
Mm.
If the two condition is false, then it will not run. But if one of the at least one of the condition is true, then the code will run. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
So that's how the AND operator works. You understand? Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh.
Do you have any question to ask?
Not really.
Okay. Now, what another thing another thing we will switch to now is using the switch statements.
What?
The switch statements.
Switch statement.
So
Okay.
switch statements are similar to if statements, just that um, switch statements test more than one condition. Like When testing one condition against multiple values, that's when you use switch statement. You get what I'm saying?
No.
Okay, let me explain to you. It's like when you want to test one condition against multiple value, that's when you use switch statement. For example, now let me give you an
Mm.
instance. Now I have this number is equals to 4. Okay, now I said let's start with do you need these codes for reference purpose?
For what?
No, don't worry, I don't think you need it. As in, I was asking if you need the code. Let's say number if number is equals to, let's say 3 5, no, let's say 5. So let's say it's number is equals to 5. Okay, so let's say if number is equals to 5, so then execute this code. Okay, let's create another if statement again. If if uh, if number equals to, let's say 7 6, let's just say 6. I want you to give us this same thing here. Do you see what I'm doing? Hello, can you see what I'm doing? Okay, can you see what I'm doing?
Yes, I'm seeing it.
Okay, now look at what I did now. This is just basic things we've done before. You understand? Now, I created a variable here. Number is equals to 4. Then I'm saying if number, which is the value of this, I told you variable is a container, right? So this number now,
Mm.
I'm putting this number 4 inside this variable. Now I'm testing if this number is equals to 5. As if it is equal to 5. You get? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
You don't understand? Okay, let me come again.
Mm.
I created a variable number,
Mm.
and I'm putting this 4 inside this variable.
Mm.
Now I'm
Okay.
now I'm saying I'm saying if this number, which is 4, is equals to 5. You know this number now this is 4. This number is equals to 4. This number I'm using here. The first if statement.
Okay.
This is
Uh,
I'm saying if 4 is equals to 5.
mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, now I created another one to check if 4 is equals to 6. I created another one. I'm saying this 4 is equals to 9. Now, using 4,
9.
I don't want you to be confused. This number is representing 4, okay? Because it is a container
Yes.
holding 4.
Yes.
Now, let's assume you are creating an app to check for what is equals to this number 4 here. That means you need to create a whole lot of if statements to check.
Okay.
Now, that is where switch comes in. Switch is just like, instead of you writing the if statement to check for every instance, you understand?
Mm.
Just test. If you are testing for multiple, if you are testing one condition against multiple value, that's when you use switch statements. Now, let me explain how this switch statement works. Now we have the number equals to 4, right?
Mm.
Now we'll just start with the word switch. Okay, you see it now.
Yes.
Switch. Then we'll put the number we want to test. You get what I'm saying?
Number. Yes.
Are you writing the code?
What is it?
Are you writing the code along with me? Are you coding along with me?
On my system or on my Jota?
Like on your Jota or your
I'm jotting down on my Jota, but I'm not writing on the system.
and
I'm not doing it on the
and
system.
what you should do is to just you can just jot the Jota just to understand it very.
Mm.
So if I say you should write the code and I should write the code now, it's going to take time. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Now The way switch work is you write switch, then open bracket to
Mm.
the number you want to test. Then you create a curly bracket.
Okay.
Let me do that again so you don't get confused. Switch, open a bracket, put the number you want to test, then open a curly bracket. You see it?
Mm.
Hope I'm not too fast.
No, no.
Okay, that's good. So the way switch works is this number is what we want to test. We'll start with creating a case. You can put you can put the case. Now the case is just like what we want to test for. There are like multiple values we want to test for.
Okay.
Let's start with four. No,
Yes.
yeah, let's start with three. After three, after the case, you put a colon. You understand? Not a semicolon, a colon.
Yes.
Then you move to the second line. Then you what? You put the code or what it should do when the value matches. So here I will say it's is equal. Okay.
Sorry. What does this echo mean?
The echo. Echo is like printing out something on the terminal, printing out something on the browser. You understand?
Okay.
Echo is just like print this thing. It's just like telling you that once you notice this number matches this number,
Mm.
I want you to spit this now. I want you to
Okay.
print this thing to the terminal.
Okay.
That's how it works. Okay. So let's
Alright.
see. So that's it's just like saying if this case matches this thing, if this case matches this number you're looking for, then I want you to tell me, I want you to print this thing to the browser. It is equal. You understand?
Mm.
So let's um let's do another case. Let's do five. Okay. Echo is equal. Let's do one again on input. Case six. Now after after writing all your code, if you're using if statement, the else is just like a fallback. Else is more like if statement did not work, if else did not work, then
Mm.
then the else statement will run. You understand?
Yes.
The same thing, we have something
If
like that to
only.
switch. You understand? We have something like that to switch. So switch uses the default. You understand? Default. So default is telling us that if none of the code run, then I'm coming,
Fault.
the default will definitely run. Okay. So
Huh?
do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes.
So if none of these cases are true, like if nothing matches. Okay, now let's run this code and see. But if you notice, you see that all the case we created, none of them matches the number four. Okay. Now, but there's something syntactically wrong with this code. There's something wrong with this code. But let's okay. I'm so sorry about the network. Uh,
Alright.
bear with me, please. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, now look at every cases I've created. Now notice that none of them matches the number four, right? Hello?
I'm there.
You notice none of them matches the number four. We have number four. We are trying to compare each of these values, and we see
Mm.
none of them. So let's just run and see what happens.
Okay.
You see, could not find a match.
Could not find a match.
Yes, which means none of them is what is equals to what this. But there's something actually wrong about this code, but I will explain to you later. Let me just try and match it with something. Now, this
Mm.
second case here matches the value we are looking for. So let's try and see what happens. Okay, now do you see what it's giving us? It's giving us
It's
every
correct.
instance. It's giving us it is equal, could not find a match. So it's giving us every of the
Mm.
cases. You understand? Now, there is the problem. The problem is if you are using case,
Mm.
like if you are using switch statement,
Mm-hmm.
after writing the first case and echoing, you need to what? You need to break out of that uh case using the word.
Okay.
You understand?
Break.
So this is how we do it. We break out of it.
Mm. Mm.
Okay, now let's run it again and see what we get. Now do you see it? Hello? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? So can you hear me?
Yes.
Now, after running the code, now we get this it is equal because we break out of the statement. So is this second case that is running? You understand?
Mm.
I want you to look at the code very well and tell me if there's something you don't understand here. Just look at it from the beginning. Look at the logic there and tell me if there's something you don't understand here.
Okay. So this last one,
Okay? Hello? What kind of network is this one like this? Hello? You are having issue. Okay, so one of the useful thing in using switch statements is you can test multiple values on one condition. So, but one important fact is using the break statement, using the break word. If you're using switch statement, you need to use the break to break out from the case. This is first case, this is second case, this is the third case, and this is the default case. So make sure you always break out from the case. You understand? Unless you get every value. But if you break out from the case, you get is it that the value that matches the number you're looking for is the one to run. Okay. So I think at this point now we can move to loops. Okay, loops. Okay, we have different types of loop. We have the for each loop, we have the for loops, and we have the while loop. So I think I have to create a different file for this section here. Okay. Okay, I've created a loop file here, so we can work on our loop here. Okay, the way I see loops allow us to repeat code until certain conditions are met. So we tend to repeat some certain parts of our code until certain conditions are met. Let's take for instance, I'm trying to compare two numbers, and I'm saying if for, or let me not use the if statement. Let's use the simplest one. Let's say while 4 is less than 10, then I want you to echo something. 4 will always be less than 10. So that condition will continue, or that code will continue running until 4 is equals to 10 or is greater than 10. So let me show you. Let's take for instance, okay, we have a y y. So I'm saying y 4 is less, or let's say 4 is greater than 10. Y 4 is greater than 10. I want to execute this code. Hello students. Okay, now I'm saying while 4 is greater than 10, echo hello students. Now let's use this instance instead. Instead of using 4, let's use 10 is less than sorry, 4. Let's use 4 is less than 10. Now look at this code. I'm saying if 4 is less than 10, why 4 is less than 10, I want this code to run. Now there's something called infinity loop. Now infinity loop is saying this condition 4 will always be less than 10 no matter what. Now let's run this code and see what I'm saying. Okay, okay, now you see this code will continue running until your system crashes. So you should avoid infinity loop infinite loop. So because 4 will definitely be 4 will always be what? 4 will always be less than 10. So okay, now let's take for instance, let's create a variable or counter. Sorry, let me stop this before it's cause someone to. Sorry, let me stop this code. Okay, so as I was saying, always try to avoid infinite loop because it could crash your system. So let's create a variable called counter, and I said let's set it to 0. Okay. Okay, now I'm saying y counter is less than 10. I want you to echo this hello student. If I run the code this way, it's still going to give us infinite loop. So what I do is I will increment 10. I will increment the counter by 1. Now let me explain what I'm doing here. I'm creating a variable counter equals to 0. Now I'm saying y counter is less than 10. So we are saying why the value of counter, which is y 0 is less than 10. I want you to echo hello students. Now after you echo hello students, once you come to this line, I'm incrementing the counter by 1, which means this 0 has turned to 1. Then the code will start from the beginning again, because as it is now, the counter is still counter, which is 1 now, because I've incremented 1. That's, I'm saying counter is equals to 0 plus 1. Now counter is now 1, but the one is still less than 10, so the code is still going to run again. Do you understand? So now what? Let's run the code and see what happens. You see now if you count this hello student now, it's giving us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's giving us 10. It's printing out hello student 10 places because I'm saying if this one is once counter becomes 9, that's when this code run. Oh, sorry, when counters becomes 10, the code executes instantly. Let me give you a better example because this might confuse you. Let me just echo the counter itself so you can understand what we're doing here. Counter. Okay, let me just put a line break here so you can get what I'm saying. Okay. Okay, now let's see. Okay, now do you see? This is the numbers of associated with counter now. It starts from 0. Then once it comes down here, I incremented it by 1. It starts from 1 again. That means counter here is equals to 1. Then start from 1 again. Counter is less than 10. Last 1 is less than 10. Echo 1. Then echo 1. I incremented it by 1 here again. Now counter is 2. We come here up here. Counter is equals to 2. We start again. Counter is equals to it's all these things run till counter becomes 10, and 10 is not less than 10. So the value is going to give us that's also the while loop will terminate because the condition has been met. You understand? So if I put counter is less than equals to 10, you see it's going to give us 10. You see? Because 10 is equals to what? 10. So that's how to use while loop. And another one is the for loop. You understand? The for loop is also similar to the while loop, just that the for loop um behaves not behaves differently. The syntax is a bit different from the ones for while loop. So now let's see. For writing a for loop, you write the conditions uh inside the bracket, yeah. Now I'm saying let's create now here now we have for loop for I'm creating a variable here. I let's create a variable or let's create a variable counter so it can be consistent what we are doing. I'm saying variable I is equals to 0. Now just like what we did here for this counter, we are creating a variable for the for loop. Then here one thing you should notice, if you've created a variable here, you need to terminate this thing by using a semicolon. If you don't use a semicolon here to terminate this statement, it's going to give you an error. So I'm saying if for counter is equals to 0, I want you to I want you to okay, counter is equals to 0. Now I'm creating the counter is less than is less than counter is less than I'm saying counter is less than 10, then counter plus plus. Now just echo counter. Now what I'm doing here is the same thing as what I'm doing here. Just that this one is quite different from this one. I'm saying for counter is equals to 0. Now I'm declaring a variable. I'm declaring a variable here inside a for bracket. Now I'm saying counter is less than 10, which is the condition being set inside the while loop. I'm setting it inside the for loop here. Then the last thing is incrementing the counter. So the same logic is what I'm doing here. It's the same logic and it's going to give us the same thing. Let's just run it and see what happens. See? So it's the same logic. So that's how for loop works. That's why how while loop work. So the last one is the for each loop. Okay. For the for each loop actually works only with arrays. It goes through every array and process it. So it automatically stop at the end of the array, which means if you have for example, you have five elements in an array and you are using for each to loop it, it goes through the array, process every element, then when it gets to the end of the array, it stops, it terminates. You understand? So that's how for each work. But before we go into for each, we need to know about arrays. But let me just cover this for it, so I will know the next topic is arrays. Okay. Okay, now these are for each work. Let me just create some numbers of array. Let me just say array equals to let me just set a random number 2, 5, 6, 4, 9. Okay. And I'm saying for each, let me call it let me just call it numbers so I can easily know their sets of numbers. For each now I'm saying for each, open a bracket and open a clear bracket. So I'm saying for each numbers as number. These are before it works. Echo, sorry, echo numbers. Okay, let's first test and see what happens. Just want to bring out something. You see now, this one is echoing all the numbers in the array. Now, there's something you should note, but that one is when we talk about array. For now, we don't want to emphasize too much on anything arrays. But just know for each works with arrays. You understand? That's how for each works. For each works with arrays of numbers or arrays of data. So okay, for each, okay, that's good. So this is how it works. So now let me just explain this for each for this number is this number here. It's saying this numbers. So we are saying for each numbers they are talking about this number here, this array of numbers, then as number. So we are creating a pointer pointing to each element in the number. This number here is pointing to each element in the number. For example, now this is just let me just say 0, number, then bracket 0. This one is pointing to, okay, sorry, I have an error. Check which error. But what's the name of the error? Try to access on site one. Okay, 4. Okay, check the error. Okay, so trying to explain this will take us into more of arrays. So I will just leave this section for arrays. Okay, so um I will give you a task to do. Okay, okay, so I want you to do this task. Now, okay, let me just I want you to make a for loop that displays 10 numbers. Okay, that's the first task. The second one is make a switch statement. Let me read this. Okay. The second one is sorry okay. The second task is make a switch. Make a switch statement. Okay. Make a switch statement that tests against one condition. One condition. With what? With 5 cases. Okay, now this is the assignment. This is the task I would like you to do, to work on. Then I'd like you to submit it on our next class. Okay. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day.